What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today, very special video for you guys. Ahead of the 4th of July, we're going to be talking the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest and some beautiful props for you to take advantage of on this holiday. But before we get started, let me talk to you about our presenting sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. It's actually where we will be taking all of these props from, so you need to check them out. They have a first match deposit bonus up to $100 when you use the promo code Stochastic. You can also just click the link in the video description below to make it easy for you. You must be 18 plus in most states. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But let me tell you a little bit about Underdog. Everyone, if you've been watching my videos, you know them from the Best Ball Streets, Best Ball Mania 4, where there's millions of dollars up top. But they also have pick'em contests. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today, where you're making lineups of player props where you can win up to 20 extra entry fee if you have enough props. They also have more best ball drafts. They have daily fantasy contests with large field GPP like prizes. A lot of different things going on at Underdog, and we're going to take you right over there. And the structure of this video, we're going to talk about each of the professional eaters, and then we will give you the official card. If you want to add anything else from the information, you absolutely can. So without further ado, let's dive in. And I think we have to kick things off with Joey Chestnut, of course, the champion of Major League Eating and the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Last year was a bad showing for Chestnut. He basically had his worst outing in the last 7 years. 63 hot dogs. He'd been over 70 in every other year, going back to 2016. And there was a lot of nuance that went into that. If you know anything about Joey's personal life, and I feel like I'm one of the few people that might actually have this information, last year he was basically training with a torn Achilles, which might sound like a joke. How does a torn Achilles affect Major League Eating? But Joey Chestnut has a very regimented regime. He has a fierce cardio routine, which is actually part of how he trains. And obviously torn Achilles can't do half your training. And then in June, prior to the 4th of July, his mother died. He's been very vocal about that taking an emotional toll. And if that wasn't enough, a protester ran up on stage and literally disrupted him mid-contest. That's not a joke. You can watch the video. Joey kind of bodies him, so it's awesome. Check it out. But regardless, all that culminated in Joey's worst performance of the last 6 or 7 years. So coming back, he's somebody who is going to be, I think, motivated. If you read about Joey going into this contest, his wife's actually been vocal too about him hitting high 70s, low 80s, and basically mock runs of the contest. Weather shouldn't be atrocious this year. We're looking at upper 80s, 55-degree humidity or 55% humidity. Last year was in the 80s, and he's been vocal about how humidity affects the dogs. I'm going over 71.5 dogs on Joey. I think this is one we can back. It's going to be on the official card later. We're going to back Joey Chestnut here. The second guy on the list, Bartley Weaver IV. There's two props you can bet with newcomers, essentially. So Bartley Weaver, he had his first hot dog eating contest last year, and he only ate 29 dogs. So it's really tough to see a guy with a line of 38.5 dogs after 1 year just competing in this contest. You would think year over year there'd be improvement here, but I think if you're playing, 5 props in your lineups, you can add Bartley Weaver as a lower, but he's not going to be in our official lineup with our 3 we're going to play today. But he would be one of the 4th or 5th I add towards the under, just because he's a novice in the game and they're expecting about 10 more dogs than what we saw from him last year. Next, we have Jeffrey Esper, 48.5 dogs. I like the under on this one. If you look at Esper throughout his career, it's pretty long. He's been at 50 once in his career, and that was the historic year for dogs where Joey broke the world record. Otherwise, he's been pretty clearly under this 48.5 through most of it. This, if you're betting on retail books, you can find 50 still. I'm seeing it in the market. So I would also look and try to get that number, but still very comfortable with 48.5. He's rarely hitting this mark in his training. Last year, he was at 47.5, so it's close. Year prior, he was at 39.5. And before that, we're talking even lower. So we like the under 48.5 here. Next one, we go to Michelle Lesko. This is the first one I don't have a real strong stance on. Lesko, 30.5 dogs. This one is pretty efficient in my eyes. When you look at her places the last couple of years, Lesko has been all over the board. 26, 31, 26 and a half, 28, 32. Basically right in the middle of that. So she's just going to be one we straight up pass on. Pretty efficient line here. The same goes for Gideon OG. He's a tough guy to look at in terms of the prop market. Last year, he was at 38 hot dogs. 2016, he ate 38 hot dogs. He only hit 29 last year, but he's one of the streakiest eaters. I think the under would be the play if you go for him because he has been under 38, but he's routinely hit that number plenty of times. So it's enough to keep me away. The next one we do like quite a bit. It is Nick Wary, under 46 and a half. This will be an official play. Looking at his regimen and his resume, I don't think this is a very good line. He's never eaten more than 44 hot dogs in any contest, and that occurred in 2021. When you go back and look at his recent performances, we have 40, 44. That was in the historic dog year. 39 and a half. He didn't compete in 2019. He's a guy that's fairly new to eating still, but we're getting a prop here, which is essentially 2 dogs above his career high. This is the best one on the entire board, and it is certainly going to be part of our official plays. Next two, James Webb and Mickey Sudo. James Webb is at 41 and a half. This is very similar to the Bartley Weaver discussion where you have basically a newcomer into the professional eating circles. James Webb was working as a salesman 2 years ago, and he's been in Major League Eating for a short period of time, but he's seen a rapid ascent and he's gotten a lot better over that time. He ate 41 dogs last year. So he's a guy I think could actually exceed this, but with a small sample, it's going to be one we stay away from, not on the official card. And last one here, we have Mickey Sudo, 42 and a half. Another pretty efficient line with Mickey Sudo. She went 40, 48 and a half. That was the historic dog year again. 31, 37 over the last 4 contests. And she skipped a year because she got pregnant and had a baby. So I think there's even a chance she gets a little bit better from the 40 we saw last year. Just more time training for her. I don't know. Another efficient line here. So to sum all this up, we have our official plays. Joey Chestnut over 71 and a half dogs. Jeffrey Esper under 48 and a half, and Nick Wary under 46 and a half. Again, if you want to extend this out, the 4 and 5 I would add would be Bartley Weaver under 38 and a half. And then my last one, I would go to James Webb over 41 and a half. I am not going to personally play those, but if you're looking for some of those 20x payouts, those are the 2 I would look to. But with that, thank you guys for watching this video. It's my favorite one to make all year. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button, all of it. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, we'll be back again soon with all sorts of betting content, best ball content. You'll have it all right here. Until then, we'll see you guys soon.